What's good, everybody? Welcome to Land Grant Podcast Network's I-70 football show. This is a groundbreaking show. This is our very first video podcast. And as you can see, me and Dante are joined by Christopher Renne from the Buck Off Podcast and all things Land Grant Holy Land. As always, I'm your host, Jordan. As I just said, I'm here with Dante, here with Chris. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's pretty good Monday, so pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm
Chris?
in the same boat. I'm happy to be with you guys. When you asked me to do this, I thought there's nothing more fun to do than draft every player in the Big Ten, basically, that has any semblance of talent. So I think this is going to be incredibly fun today. So I'm always happy to jump on with you guys.
Yeah. So as Chris said, we are doing a Big Ten draft, a big draft, literally. So I think the first couple of rounds are going to be
Redemption.
great, and then we're going to get down into the weeds, and you're going to get to see us sweat a little bit on the video. So, but trying something new. Ultimately, I think the goal is to have more video podcasts. So if this goes well and you like it, please let us know. Um, so let's this is typically me and Dante, we spend about 15-20 minutes talking about nothing. Can't do that today because there's a lot going on. So
Right.
I'm gonna run down the rules and then we're just gonna get started. um so it's a 25 round snake draft. As you can see, this is why we do not have time for the typical BS in the beginning. The rosters are three coaches, one head coach, one offensive coordinator, one DC, 11 people on offense. So two quarterbacks, two running backs, four wide receivers, two tight ends, and then an O line unit. And it includes the backup. So we're not picking more than one offensive line. We're picking whichever offensive line you get, and you get the entire unit. On defense, also 11 picks. Same thing, D line with O line. You get one entire unit, includes all the backups, all the freshmen, all the recruits that's currently going to be on the roster in 2023. Three linebackers, three safeties, four corners. So essentially, you get a starting 11 and one backup for each position, is essentially how it goes. Any player, any coach can be taken in any round. So, is someone really in love with Jim Harbaugh in here and they want to use them for the first pick? I'm not going to
That's
judge you.
crazy.
I'll judge.
um,
I judge.
That would be insane.
yeah. And then I imagine coaches are probably going to go towards the bottom. And the draft, we're going to do a snake draft. I feel like you all knew this. Snake drafts are just kind of what you do in the situation. And so we did a random order generator. Draft order is Chris, Dante, then Jordan, me. So, yeah, Chris, you're on the clock. Who is the first pick in the inaugural I-70 football show Big Ten draft?
Yeah, before I go, I just want everyone to pause real quick and play the NFL draft music. And then we'll come back in and then unpause. And now I'm taking the Ohio State defensive line.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
I feel like championship teams are built up front. And I feel like when you look at it, this is kind of also a projection pick in a way because Ohio State's defensive line hasn't been the most statistically dominant, but they have a lot of really talented players who could take that next step. I just looked at the rest of the Big Ten and didn't see a defensive line with that much upside. So, I mean, look at all the championship teams over the last few years. Their defensive lines are dominant. I'm going to start there.
yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's funny because I was doing an insane amount of prep for this, and a lot of people had OSU's defensive line like ranked as like the third or fourth best. I saw one that was ranking like the top 10. And for all the people who say the Big Ten is not a good conference, the Big Ten had like 4 or 5 defensive lines in the top 10, and OSU was the lowest ranked. It was number 10 in the country, including everyone, SEC, all of that, but it was the last of the Big Ten teams. And I'm like, I don't know that I agree with who you all are putting in front of Ohio State's defensive line. I'm not sure if it's the best defensive line. If it lives up to its potential, it'll be the best defensive line in the country. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say, but you never know because it hasn't lived up to its potential. So
I didn't see a quarterback that I liked that high, so I went with the highest upside player in the draft.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I think very shortly you all are going to see the beginning of the draft is probably going to be some favorites. I know one of my picks is going to be it's the value is not going to fit the pick, but it's gonna have to happen. Dante, you're up next. Where are you going?
Okay, so I was gonna do this like fantasy football, and usually you do skill players and things like that early, but and Chris does a defensive line unit there, so it tripped me up. I'm not gonna lie, but I think I'm going to go offensive line,
Okay,
and I'm going to go with Penn State's offensive line.
that's a good one. This is
That was number
we're,
2 on my big board.
yeah, we're two picks in, and this is a real sickos draft. We went D line and O line first, and it's gonna get worse with my pick. So, uh, yeah. Any do you do you want to defend
uh,
Penn
n-
State's offensive
well,
line?
Penn State's offensive line is usually pretty good. Again, I haven't had a chance to do as much research as these two guys, and I feel terrible. But I have watched a lot of college football, and usually Penn State has one of the top offensive lines in the country, let alone the Big Ten. And I think they're a little older. I think they're one of the older groups, if
Yeah,
I'm not
5
mistaken.
returning starters.
Yeah, so I'm uh I'm that's enough for me.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that. They also have what people consider, a lot of people consider, the best offensive lineman in the country. A guy who at 19, I think, somehow he's in college at 19, would have been the first offensive lineman taken in the 2023 NFL draft. So he's still in college football because he's 19, and I'm guessing him and his family talked about it and was like,
Yeah,
"You could
not
finish your
yet.
degree and get another
Not
year and
yet.
kind of
Not
grow
yet.
into your body." Like he's good,
Yeah.
but I don't think I want to be
It's
19 going against Aaron Donald and Miles Garrett.
it's okay to be 22. Like
Yeah, like I mean, he's
way
not going to
to
be that. He's going to be 20, but like
yeah.
maybe 21 if he's
I
lucky,
would
but
say
still.
21. I say he should wait until he's
Yeah.
21. But
No, this was
I feel that.
definitely. If Dante didn't take him here, I think they would have slid to me at 6, and I was going to take him, and I would have just been like, lines are set, foundations built.
Yeah.
Like the guy we're talking about, Olamayu, Fashana. Like I just kept reading articles on the Athletic about him week in and
Yeah,
week out. Or like this guy started playing football like 4 years ago. Like he's going to be the number 1 pick someday, and I'm like, maybe not number 1 pick, but like
but yeah, first
it's pretty
offensive.
crazy.
Yeah. Penn State was my number 2 offensive line. So I I have a sneaky pick for offensive line, so I'm gonna hold them back. I'm gonna trust in my and my sicko mentality and the research that I did that nobody else is gonna pick this team. So I have back to back picks. So I'm gonna
I
pick.
believe in you. I believe you're probably lying about that. I think I know who you might pick for your offensive line.
If you know who I'm gonna pick, I would be shocked. But
I read.
we'll see.
Okay. Okay.
Um, So I was gonna do the no-brainer pick here, even though he's not my favorite in the world, but he is gonna be the number 1 pick in the draft. But I'm just gonna continue the sickos energy since I have back-to-back picks, and I'm gonna do a complete homer pick. I'm picking Tommy Eichenberg. I could not stomach someone else getting Tommy Eichenberg. Like
Yeah.
I honestly just could not.
It's so funny
Like
because you represent the Tommy train so much better than me because he was like in my like 3rd tier of players I was gonna draft. And I'm just like, I just don't need a linebacker. So I'm just like,
yeah, no. So here's the thing. I was watching film, and which is first of all, I just need to talk. Like, if anyone hears this that are fans of like non-Ohio State or like USC or something like that, y'all need to step up your highlight game. Like, there are like 6 people in the OSU Twitterverse that like makes highlights for players, not including like ESPN and stuff. There's a couple like linebackers and a couple safeties and things that I wanted to watch a couple clips of, and I couldn't find them. I'm just like, hey man, like if this was Ohio State, I bet you almost every Ohio State player on anyone's board, you could find at least a minute or 2 of their highlights from. You could probably find a highlight of Kyle McCord who has like less than 50 passes. So y'all need to get it up. But I was watching highlights of Abdul Carter. Just because I wanted to verify something on how I felt about him, because everything that I was seeing, he's the Penn State linebacker. Everything that I was seeing had him like super highly ranked, and I was like, "Am I a hater?" So I had to watch it, and then I watched it. I was like, "Well, if I'm watching linebacker tape, let me turn on Tommy." And it was just a totally different story. It was just like it was totally different tape, and I was having a really good time at work watching that. So I had to get him. It's a long draft. I feel like I can get some other people, get some better picks, but I had to go Tommy. And since everyone started out with a bunch of sicko energy, I'm just gonna go take the Heisman winner back to back, and I'm gonna go Caleb Williams. Hopefully, I get my offensive line pick to protect my quarterback, but it had to be done. I had to get Tommy first because that's just the way that the draft was going, and now I get my signal caller. Some people are going to call him the best quarterback in the country. I'm not the biggest fan of how he plays, but I can fix that. He can play a different style. And I mean, it's hard to turn down. I did stats too. I won't do too many stats. I don't know if everyone else did stats, but I mean, dude had 4,500 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Like that, no matter how you feel about him, which you should feel good about him. But like ultimately, I'm not saying he's a scrub. He's my second pick. But no matter how you feel about him, you really can't do better than that. And I don't think he'll win back-to-back Heisman. I think there's a reason only one person has done it. But I do think he has a much better chance to win it than Bryce Young did, and then Tim Tebow did. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's me, Tommy, and then Caleb. Get the quarterback of my offense and my defense.
Yeah, no, I respect the Caleb Williams pick a lot. I mean, I feel like when you go from him to the next quarterback in the Big Ten, like if we're all being honest here, the gap as of now is pretty wide from him to number 2. Yeah, no, I mean, he probably, I mean, that's the worst part about being the first in the snake draft is like get excited because you get to pick who you want, and then you see like 4 other options go, and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been first. But I think that, I mean, you've got like a 1970s Heisman ceremony built already, best linebacker, best quarterback, like can't be mad at it.
Anyone who listens to this show knows I'm still a little old school when it comes to football, but
a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a tad. You know, love my linebacker. So yeah, Dante. Oh, and before anyone complains, if you're new to the show, if you're new to I-70 show, you found this because of YouTube, and you're like, these idiots, USC is not in the Big Ten yet. We are not going anywhere, and so we are including USC and UCLA in all of our Big Ten content this year to get ready for next year. It's fun. Why not? And who's going to tell us we can't? So that's why Caleb Williams is on this. If you're new to the show and didn't already know that we did that. So not crazy. I know it's not until 2024, but the Big Ten doesn't pay me. I don't have to follow their timeline. We're here for content, and they're good content. So Dante, who you got?
All right. Okay. So still looking. I was thinking going defensive line here to just shore up those parts, because you're nothing without those two. You're truly nothing without those two. But I'm thinking of going receiver. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go with. Actually, no. I'm going to go with my original idea. I'm going to do Michigan defensive line.
Okay.
Yep.
I already have some regrets because I know who one of Chris's next 2 picks is, but it's fine. We're gonna ball. We're gonna ball. Michigan's defensive,
because I don't know who my next 2 picks are.
Well, Dante, and all of some of the research that I did, Michigan's defense. Well, one of the articles I saw had Michigan's defensive line rated as the second best defensive line in the country after Georgia. So, I mean, you have a strong start. Penn State's offensive line, Michigan's defensive line. You said I'm the old school one. This is like, what is this, the 60s?
Yeah, no, I'm sharing up everything. Everything starts right there.
I'm not.
Everything starts in the trenches, so I'm going right there first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be a homer right now. I'm just going to take Marvin Harrison Jr.
You have to. Like,
Yeah.
There's not a lot of
That's where
receivers.
I almost.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of receivers who are like even considered like first pick potential, like not first round pick, like number one overall pick. And I just watching him play football. You know, I would be remiss if I was like you with Tommy. I'd be remiss if I wasn't the guy
Right.
who took Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I couldn't imagine him on another team. So when I felt that, I'm like, I'm making the pick. I'm just going to take him. We'll figure out everything else later.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Like that's the 6th pick in the draft, and he's arguably the best player in the country. So
Probably.
that is a slide. I think we could safely call that a slide.
Hey, I do love how this show made Caleb Williams a 2nd-round pick. You won't find that anywhere else.
Nope.
No. That's what we do here. That's what makes us special.
We're unconventional.
All right, so I went with the homer pick last time because I think people are gonna hate me for this one, but I'm gonna take Michigan's offensive line.
Oh man, this is the 70s.
Pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
It starts up front. They have a really good interior offensive line. You know, Zach Zinter has been there. I feel like I've been saying that dude's name for longer than I can remember. He's definitely at least a 6-year senior. No, I'm just kidding. Major callback there. But, you know, I was just looking through and, you know, sometimes you overthink these things, but Michigan's got multiple previews that have multiple all Big Ten selections on that line preseason. So I'm just going to go with the accolades. They've been really good the last few years. Harbaugh's actually done a really good job of filling in the holes with transfer portal players. And when they don't, they do. Sherrone Moore is one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. So, like, that to me, it signals quite a bit. And, you know, I don't want to give too much hints away for a future pick, but I love the offensive line coach at Michigan, and he's an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. He is, there's a lot of things that you can say for why Michigan has beaten Ohio State 2 years in a row and why a lot of people are predicting them to beat Michigan's beat Ohio State 2 years in a row. Yeah. And why people are picking Michigan to beat Ohio State again. And honestly, in my opinion, the biggest reason is Sherrone Moore. Like, I'm not sure that they beat us next year if Josh Gaddis is still there. We saw what Josh Gaddis did in Miami. Sherrone Moore, like, the day he gets a head coaching job, man, like, I might celebrate a little bit. So I think nothing wrong with that pick. That's a good one.
I think he needs to be a head coach, like, immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
he'll get a job somewhere.
I've seen some of these spring practices. I think he needs to be hired tomorrow by somewhere that's not Michigan.
Yeah, Memphis. It was Memphis, right? Hired our old offensive coordinator. Like, what are we doing? Like, Sherrone Moore was there, but hey, we got him out of Columbus. Shout out to Ryan Day. He got his buddy hired, so we'll take it. We'll take the win, but I don't think he is this time next year. I think he's leading his own program.
He better be.
Yeah, I think so. Unless he'll just if Michigan wins a title. If Michigan wins a title or at least plays in the playoffs again, he definitely should have his own head coaching job somewhere. And it's my turn next, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to, since I've set up my both sides of the trenches, I'm going to go Blake Corum here.
Okay.
Yeah. Did really good running back for Michigan. He was injured, right, to finish the year.
Yeah, towards ACL.
And he'll be coming back healthy. Is he coming back?
He'll be back. Yeah, he's coming back.
Yeah. All right. So, that's not a serious injury anymore.
Yeah,
it's not as serious as it used to be, especially for running back. Yeah, I'm going Blake Corum, one of the top running backs in the Big Ten and in the country. Behind one of the, I wouldn't say best offenses in the country, but it was one of the best running games in the country, and it controlled the clock, controlled the pace, and Blake Corum was one of the biggest reasons for that. So I'm going him at that pick.
Yeah, that's fair. So now I'm struggling because I don't have an offense or a defensive line. So I feel like I should go with the next. But the I don't know if I should pick the homer pick who I believe in and I like the coach, which is not the one that I wanted to go for, or if I should go for the sneaky good one. And the reason why I'm not sure is because I know the backup for the homer pick and I know, the recruits and that there's some potential there. But I'm going to go with the one that I think is sneaky good. And I looked at their preview. Almost their entire offensive line is in the first, second, or third team in the Pac-12, which you just don't expect from this team. And people are going to think I'm crazy, but listen, like I said, I did a bunch of research, and they have gotten a bunch of transfers. They have some good guys, and they have Andrew Voorhees, who is projected to be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go with USC's offensive line. And I can't say that I feel great about that. But no one can say that they feel great about Ohio State's offensive line. So if that's the case, I might as well take, you're relying a lot on what you've read and who you've researched and the people that you trust and things that seem to make sense. So I know that I have a lot of questions about Ohio State's offensive line, even though I know it better. But I'm not going to take the safe pick, right? I'm going to do the tough thing and take the team that I'm not sure about because it doesn't fit them, right? But they did go out and get a bunch of transfers. Now, defensive line, and I think you all left a steal here. I'm taking Illinois' defensive line. And I want you to understand
I'm mad at that.
that they have two people, Jerzan Newton and Keith Randolph Jr., who are both projected to be all Big Ten and both projected to be like top 50, top 60 picks. If you remember last year, like everyone talked about Illinois' defense and they focused a lot on the safeties and the corner. Obviously, the corner went very high. Devin Witherspoon, great player. He probably would have been a first-round pick if he was here this year. But a lot of what made Illinois a good defense was their front, and it was these two players. They're both studs. At least Jersey and Newton should be in line for All-American honors, if not both of them. I know that's going to be hard with Georgia and other people like that. They're definitely going to have all Big Ten honors, and they're going to have to ball out even more than before because of the fact that the defense just doesn't have as much. They lost their play caller. They lost two of their really good players, corner, safety, that kind of stuff. So everything I saw had them really highly rated. And we watched the Michigan game, we watched the Minnesota game. Teams that ran the ball well did not run well on them. And so if we're doing the trenches, everyone has their trenches now. I had to get mine. So USC, which I think is maybe a little shocking, but Illinois is very, very underrated. And I think I'm going to be very, very happy with that pick in the long run.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think anyone could be mad at your pick there with Illinois. Like, I didn't even think about them, and I feel like a fool for not.
Yeah.
But, hey.
No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a deep league.
It is. Okay. All right. I think my next pick. Where are you? No, that's not what I was looking for. I'm going to go Emeka, and I don't want to butcher his last name, so I'm not going to.
It's Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka.
Emeka Egbuka. Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure he's of African descent, and one of the things with African names, they're almost always pronounced exactly how they're spelled. E-G-A-B-U-K-A, Egbuka.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I'm going there. Just because, again, out of all the receivers in the Big Ten, out of all the schools, Ohio State has some of the best receivers, and usually always has some of the best receivers in the Big Ten. And it's just a safe pick there for me.
Yeah, those are the two best wide receivers on the board. Those were the top two wide receivers on the board. Together last year, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka had over 130 catches, 2,100 yards, and 21 touchdowns. Emeka had 15.7 yards per carry. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 16.1. So, I wish one would have fell to me, but at least they're not on the same team, which the rest of the Big Ten cannot say in real life.
Yeah,
True.
it's true.
True.
Kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want Chris to do that. I figured he might slide in there and do that because if he fell right there, I feel like Chris was gonna like.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. It's like you need him, but you also want to steal him from the other person. So it's like, yeah.
So let me not let that happen too quickly.
Yeah, because if you didn't take him there, it was going to be him and whoever this other guy I'm going to take right now. So yeah, since Dante took Emeka, I'm going to take Talia Tagovailoa. God, I botched his name. I should have took the Dante route there. Talia.
Like I don't because my thing is like I don't want to be disrespectful, and I know I butcher names. I'm really bad.
It's Talia Tagovailoa.
Talia Tagovailoa. I'll be struggling.
There's been two of them, and I still can't get their last name right.
Nope.
It's not like they're not in the news every day. It's just I also feel like a lot of people don't get their names right. So it's like,
yeah,
you hear it and you hear it, and
I think
you don't know where to go.
Yeah, I can't speak for them, right? And I have, a pretty common name, but I think if you try and you admit when you got it wrong and you try to learn it, I think, it's typically understandable. It's the people that just like, oh, I'm going to butcher this. It's just going to be wrong. I'm not even going to that's the, or just like,
I give you that.
It's not like you got it wrong, but it wasn't in an offensive way. It wasn't like, oh my God, this name, why would they name him? Like, you know what I mean? So it's, what can you do? I'm surprised you didn't take one of the OSU guys, though.
Yeah, I just really didn't want to put myself in a corner, especially since before the show I said we should come up with a scoring system. Like, I know Talia's going to play. I know he's going to put up some stats. Kirk Herbstreit said this Ohio State competition might bleed into the season. I don't even think we want to get into that discussion here because I just think that's false. But I just know, like, I could draft Ohio State receivers and also have Talia, so it's not like I'm not mad. I will not be mad if Talia puts up huge stats and the Ohio State receivers also put up huge stats. It would have helped to have the quarterback, but I'm just not going to take any chances and back myself into the corner. And I still have a chance later, potentially, because I don't know how high they are on your guys' list, but they just weren't that high on mine. And mostly his quarterbacks just weren't that high on my list.
Yeah, that's fair.
I usually don't have I usually do quarterbacks a little late, but that's again, I've been doing my like a fantasy type of strategy. So that might be it might bite me in the ass. It just might.
Outside of Caleb Williams, which I had to get just because there's only maybe 2 or 3 good quarterbacks in the entire conference. Outside of that, like, quarterback was pretty low. I have some homer picks, and I don't mean homer as just Ohio State, although there are some of those. I have some homer picks as just players that I love at positions that I love. That I would rather get off more. And we're doing this with all the confidence in the world. So I believe I can fix any player as long as they have some sort of talent. And listen, Chris, I don't know. I think you're a better offensive coordinator than what Talia has had to deal with. I'm not really sure what they're doing out there in Maryland. So maybe you're going to turn it around, make him a first-round draft pick. I know it.
Just wait till I make my OC hire, and it'll be better than this guy right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Josh Gaddis and Mike Locksley. I'm sure I could help Talia out a little bit.
Easily. so many people you could do that's better than that.
Yeah. Getting to my next pick here, the list is getting smaller on high-value players. I'm kind of torn on the running backs here. There's some really good ones. There's a lot of splitting carries going on in the Big Ten. And, I've already got a relatively – I don't know. Actually, I don't really have that high. I haven't been the biggest homer yet, but I don't know who I want to take here because I feel like when I look at Ohio State's running backs, I know there's going to be some stats there, but I just can't trust who's going to be out there, who's going to be there consistently. But when I look at – this guy in Nick Singleton, I think I'm going to take Nick Singleton here. The other guys, I just feel too much splitting. I know there's Katron Allen there. I know they've got some really talented backs in the room, but I think even last year he showed he's like a true number one back in the Big Ten who can handle a big workload. So at worst, as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a 1,000-yard back with double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, 156 carries, 1,061 yards, 6.8 yards per carry, and 12 touchdowns as a freshman. I don't think it gets much better than that.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have like a similar trajectory to Travion, I feel like this is a very good pick. And like with Dante's first pick in the draft being Penn State's offensive line, I feel good who he's running behind as well. And Drew Aller, I'm not sure Dante's feeling completely on him, but I'm not high on him. I know Jordan's not that high on him. So really, they're going to be handing the ball off quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not that high on him, but not a bad pick at all. See, I was thinking defense here, and I'm gonna go safety. I'm gonna go Jalen Reed out of Penn State.
Is he still there?
Yep, that's what it's showing me right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't insert name here. Penn State safety is fine. Like, if you say safety Penn State, like it's gonna do something. Although I don't know how to spell his name, and people are watching
Jaylen and then Reed. Penn State's going to win 10 games, and it's going to be because of that defense. They're not going to give up big, huge chunk plays unless it's Ohio State, and it's probably only going to be one play against Ohio State, 1 or 2 plays. Usually they don't give up big plays, and it's because of that secondary. I'm going, like Jordan said, insert Penn State safety here. You can almost do that with Iowa too.
Yeah, I have some. I have some Iowa people on my list, and I don't know who they are.
I was honestly saving Iowa for like the rounds like 14 through 18 because like that's really when they start adding their value.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Honestly, I'm going to be honest here. My next like 3 or 4 picks is probably going to be offense, and
I'm done.
It's no disrespect to anyone on the podcast, but there's so many unknown, and unnamed defensive players. I think I have a really good chance of getting some of the guys that I want.
Fair enough.
Whereas I was doing this and I was really surprised. There are not that many wide receivers. Like the Big Ten for the last 3 or 4 years has been stacked with wide receivers, not just Ohio State's guys. You had Parker Washington, you had Jahan Dotson, you had a couple of years ago, you had the guy from Minnesota who went to the Ravens. I mean, everyone had guys. They ended up not producing, but you had Rakeem Jarrett and the Dante Demas Jr. at Maryland. It was like wide receiver heaven. You go back even further, you had Allen Robinson Jr. and all these guys. And I was looking at it, I was like, man, I'm not too excited about too many of the wide receivers. We all have to pick 4 of them. So I'm going to go back-to-back wide receivers. I'm going to go a guy who most people won't know, but he was really productive before he transferred. And then I'm going to go a guy who hasn't played yet, but I think, and it's, oh man, wait, this is for this year. Dang, that might have messed me up. I was thinking in the future, man, what is he going to? Okay, so I'm going to say the one that I know for sure that I'm going to get. I'm going to get Dorian Singer. I did not write down where he transferred from. I don't remember. But he is essentially this year's Jordan Addison. Last year at another school, he had 66 receptions, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns, 16.7 yards per carry. And you're putting him with Caleb Williams. I will say I'm slightly worried because Jordan Addison did not have as good of a year at USC as he had at Pitt, but it's not only about stats, but he's the only returning guy that had 1,000 yards. It was Marvin Harrison Jr., it was Emeka Egbuka, and it was Dorian Singer. And Jordan Addison's going to need a guy. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go with him. And then I think I'm going to just take my running back here. I was going to do the back-to-back wide receivers, but the guy that I was going to take, I might try to save for a later pick just because I don't know how much he's going to play. And if like Chris said, we're going to try to do the point system. I'm high on the guy, but he's also one of these guys who may take some time just because of what's going on. So I'm going to hope and pray that maybe he gets to the next round. So I am going to take my running back here, and I'm going to take Braylon Allen.
I knew that was. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I
was really gonna lock down my running backs right there, and you took them. You snaked them right.
I was gonna take me. I was gonna take him at that pick after Jordan.
Yeah, he's just like the guy. He just made it one round too far. I'm just like That's a good one. I mean, that's the pick I was going to make next. So I need to rethink some things right now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I got him. I want to be clear. This was a down year for him. 230 rushes, 1,200 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, and 11 touchdowns. And everyone's like, oh, but, they have a new offensive coordinator. They're moving away from the thing. But, like, you got to remember, Phil Longo had 2,000-yard rushers at USC. He's very much a throw to run the ball. It's not like it was before where it's run to throw the ball, but he uses the spread. He uses the I can't think of is it the West Coast offense that he does? I can't think of the name of his offense right now, but he uses that offense. He spreads them out to be able to run the ball. I mean, one of the running backs, it's crazy. I always know their names except when I need it. One of the running backs is on the Jets and was doing really good. And they both got drafted 1,000-yard guys at UNC. And so I think Braylon Allen is going to go crazy. I think it's very possible he has a Blake Corum type year like last year, especially because they're going to spread the ball out, but I don't believe in anyone else on the roster. So I think just them spreading it out is going to stop. Like nobody saw 7 and 8 man boxes more than Braylon Allen, and he still averaged 5.4 yards per carry. Like I could very easily see him having a Jonathan Taylor type 1,900 yards because they're going to need it. I don't believe in any of their wide receivers. So yeah, I got him. So Dorian Singer, USC, and Braylon Allen, rounding out my offense.
You cannot be mad at it.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I can be because that was my next pick. But... Okay. Man. So I'm worried here, right? Because now I want to do quarterback, and there's two things that have me torn because I know usually I know it's a new quarterback at Ohio State, but usually quarterbacks do well at Ohio State. But I'm going to go with experience, and it's going to be a crazy pick, but I'm going with JJ.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I was going to say you can't be mad at it, but I am going to be mad at it.
I told you. He's solid. He's a solid quarterback. He's experienced. He's played in 2 playoff. He had 2 playoff appearances now. He's knocked off Ohio State twice. Yes, the running game has helped him, but I have his running back.
You keep forgetting that.
You're right. He's knocked him off once.
Cade McNamara was the other.
Cade was the other one, and then and I know it was the running game, but I have their running back too. So, he doesn't turn the ball over much. He's a game manager, and I'm not mad at it. I'm okay with a game manager quarterback. So I'm gonna go with
yeah, I mean, and pairing him with Blake Corum, I mean,
yeah, I got him this guy.
Not mad at it.
Yeah. I needed a quarterback. You guys all have one. I needed one.
Yeah, man, that got back to me quick. I actually did not have enough time to think and recover from Braylon Allen.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a couple extra seconds. I think you could argue that these are the top 3 returning quarterbacks in the Big Ten. Obviously, pseudo Big Ten because Caleb Williams is actually not going to play a Big Ten game. And I think we're all kind of in the same area where it's like you believe in the Ohio State quarterback because you have to, because they went from JT Barrett, who's just a great college quarterback, to Dwayne Haskins, who was a great college quarterback, and rest in peace to him. They had Joe Burrow in that offense before he obviously blew up at LSU, and then they went to Justin Fields, and then they went to CJ Stroud. 3 back-to-back first-round picks. We'll always claim OSU Joe because he's an Ohio guy, so technically 4 first-round picks that had something to do with Ohio State, even though you have to admit, obviously, his success was somewhere else. So it's like, you believe that they're going to do it again, but there's also that little bit of doubt of like, but could it just fall off because it's hard to have 4 back-to-back first-round picks? It's hard to have to then next year go into 5. So I think we're all kind of wary of the OSU quarterback. But then also I think we're all going to regret it if Kyle McCord comes out and is the typical OSU quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
And
I'm gonna be sick.
I absolutely don't think Ohio State's quarterback is going to be bad because they have to perform where the other guy's going to take over. So it's really one of those things where it's like, and honestly, like we could have easily just been homers and just picked like Ohio State podcast here. I know it's a Big Ten show on Land Grant, but like we could have picked a lot more Ohio State players at this point, and we've chosen not to. And I think that's big of us. It's a Big Ten show.
Yeah.
And with all that being said, I'm picking an Ohio State player right now.
Okay.
Travion Henderson.
Okay. Yeah. I saw that coming. Chris, can we confirm I'm not spelling his name right?
You're close. I think you just you got it.
Take the E away take the E away from the O-N and you're fine.
Yeah.
It's just Y-O-Y?
It's just Y-O-N. Yeah.
Okay.
You even got the capital B right. That was big time. But he had the foot injury last year. I think he's going to want to prove to the world that he's still got it. I think me and Jordan have talked intensely about him sticking to the play, staying play side, following the gaps, and if he could just be a consistently, fundamentally sound running back, his speed and athleticism will do the rest. Yeah,
and I mean, the foot injury was huge, and he still averaged 5.3 yards per carry. Very easily, if he hit 200 carries like some of these other guys, very easily could have still been 1,000-yard back. It was just an injury, and we're not going to project that that's going to stay. It was just a weird kind of freak thing in a year where Ohio State unfortunately had too many freak injuries, but this is not the show for that. So I was hoping maybe he would slide to me and I could get Braylon Allen and Trey, but it's fine. It's all right.
Yeah, and to finish off my second pick, this is kind of in the vein of like I'm picking this guy because I really just don't see a lot of other options on this team. I'm picking Keon Coleman to be my second receiver across from Marv.
So Keon transferred.
Did he really?
In the second transfer window.
Oh man,
he's in all the magazines and everything, but yeah, he did just transfer.
Damn it, that's embarrassing. But no, I'm still going to take him. We'll see if he comes back. No, but in that case, you know what? I am going to switch back to this. I'm just going to get my tight end out the way. I'm taking Cade.
Okay.
You know what? I think, and I might sound old here, we should get rid of this second transfer window just to avoid this level of embarrassment and ridicule I'm about to receive.
Yeah, I mean,
catch on to that.
Come on.
I was in my head, I'm like, 6'4" Marv, 6'4" Keon Coleman, even like getting off the bus, this team's scary.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been a crazy outside duo, and two guys that can go up and get it. That would have been scary for sure. Now, and this is one of those things where you trust that you can make them better, and so you're just not going to ask Cade to block in space, and he's going to be one of the best tight ends in the country.
Yeah, he's not going to be split out blocking for bubbles. He's just going to give me 500 yards, being all Big Ten performer. That's all I'm asking.
That's fair. I'm torn.
I want to just had to break the catch record.
Come on, it's like 36 catches or something crazy.
Just break the catch record.
I want to do a tight end as well, but I don't know where to go. Actually, I do know where to go, but I'm going to go receiver.
Okay.
And I don't know if I want to go between. I'm going to go Elijah. Canyon. Did I pronounce it? Elijah, and then Canion. I think I might have butchered that.
Who does he play for?
Oh, Purdue.
Okay. All right.
Transfer from Auburn to Purdue. And the reason why I'm going there is because Purdue throws the ball like crazy. they sling that thing, even though they have a really good running back. they do throw the ball a lot, and I think just because of that, statistics wise, he should get a lot of catches, get a lot of yards. Purdue can they have a good offense, and I think they're going to continue to have that for at least next year. So I'm gonna go there. I
Yeah,
do know.
that's fair. Did not know much about him, so
Yeah.
this is the level that you're getting on this show. We're pulling out names that you're gonna have to Google, and that is real deal. We're not
We
just
go
we're
from
not
not
just
knowing
picking,
someone transferred to Purdue's receiver.
yeah. So, I mean that's big time. Okay, so I have a lot of options, but I think especially because there's so many running backs in the Big Ten, but everyone, we've already talked about how you split carries. And so most of my favorite running backs are the same type of running back. And I'm torn between one guy who's totally different and is going to get carries, and another guy who's slightly different and is going to be the number one running back. But the issue is this guy who was the number one running back only had 48 more attempts because the coach doesn't call running plays. And if Dante, if you know what I'm talking about, I think you can figure out who I'm talking about because we were both so mad that so I'm torn between the number one running back and the guy who is going to get the ball because they like to run the ball. So I'm going to go with Donovan Edwards because I know he's going to get the ball, even though he's the backup, and he's a different style to the bruiser and Braylon Allen. And a lot of the guys on my team are bruisers because that's kind of what I like. I also think that's kind of just what the Big Ten has right now. And they took Trey. I was hoping to get Trey and Braylon. That would have been, the best because they are two of the best running backs and they have totally different styles. But that was too rich of me. That was unlikely to happen. And so I will settle for like one of the best running backs in the country and a guy who might be draft eligible but has never started at Michigan, which is crazy just because of the running backs that Michigan has right now. I'm really interested to see if he stays another year to be the lead back or if he just leaves because he has had two really good seasons. I mean, as a backup last year, he had 991 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7.1 yards per carry. Like that's a draftable running back.
And a broken hand.
Right. So very interesting.
That was a club.
Yeah. So man, I'm torn here because I feel like my next guy isn't going to get taken. But when you look at where we're at in the board, starting the 8th round, he is just single-handedly one of the best players on the board. And I feel like I could replace him with some of the other people, but I think I'm just going to go for a crazy duo that's just going to shut everything down. So the next guy I'm going to take, and this is a really USC heavy team, and I was not expecting this. I'm taking Kalen Bullock, safety from USC. All of the things that you look at, he is the top-rated safety returning or in the top-rated safety returning. 48 tackles, 5 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 5 passes defense. I watched his highlight tape as well, and I was just amazed. His range is crazy. Like, it's blasphemy to compare people to Ed Reed and things like that. And he's not that player. Please do not clip this and say that I said he's Ed Reed. But he showcased that type of range. And I think that's just something that I want. Now,
I really thought you were going to go with Bryson Shaw there, but I guess go with the other USC safety.
Yeah. So I hate to ask this, so I don't regret it. I am happy with my pick, but were either of you going to pick him? Was he on anyone's board?
Who?
He was on the board.
I didn't have him on my board.
Okay, it's fine.
I've got 3 safeties. I've got 3 safeties I'm picking, and if you guys take them, I'm just going to play with 2.
All right. Well, I'm still. I mean, listen. You go and get one of the best picks, one of the best players in the country. He is also going to be in line for first team All-American honors, a first round draft pick potentially. So, even if I could have maybe gotten him later, I'm fine with getting him off the board.
I'm not mad at that.
Hey, if he ends up being an All-American first-round pick, I mean, at 8, that's incredible value.
That's
In the 8th
beautiful.
round, yeah.
All right. I want to make a wild pick out of nowhere, but I also want to be safe. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to take another receiver. I'm going to go Dante Cephas.
I was waiting for you to take your namesake.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go Dante Cephas. I think he's gonna be good for. I think he's gonna be like a real good security blanket for whoever plays quarterback at Penn State. They've made their choice, right? The
Yeah.
starter.
There's no one else on the team. So.
Oh, true. I think he's gonna be a really good security blanket. He can get open. He's a really good route runner, and strong for 180 pounds. So, we watched a lot of Kent State games. He was one of the bright sides to the team too. Even though we had to play like 5 out of conference teams to start the season.
Yeah. Hopefully
it was rude.
We stop doing that here shortly.
Yeah. Oh my god, I hope so. But yeah, I'm going to go with Dante. And I think that's my third receiver.
Yeah, I literally was doing this, and I was like, I'm keeping track of everyone's picks, and I haven't kept track of my roster at all to know like who I actually picked. So I'm doing that now. So I think
I'm doing it as well.
Yeah, try to find a way to knock that out. We're gonna have to keep track so we know exactly who has what. Well, it's more important for you to know what you have than for everyone to know who has what. But yeah.
Yep, 100%. I'm gonna just go bold here. I'm just gonna pick my favorite player. I've compared him to LeBron James multiple times. Sonny Styles is my next pick.
Oh man.
Call it a reach, call whatever you want. No one has a better athlete in this draft than me. And you know what? It's up to Jim Knowles to prove me right. And make the right choice and play him a lot.
Yeah, so literally one of the articles I want to write this week for What If Week on Land Grant Podcast is Land Grant Holy Land is what if Sonny Styles is a generational talent?
Right.
And it really seems like he might be. So, I can't be mad. I can't be mad at your pick here. It's the 8th round. I don't know if you can call the 8th round a reach, right? You kind of got the studs that you wanted. There's some other people on the board probably, but I think you're safe in the 8th round taking him.
Hey, and when you make if we make a graphic out of this, everyone's going to get excited about that pick.
Yeah,
especially because my next pick. I'm going to go with another safety. I'm just going to get the back end just locked in here, and I hope this guy didn't transfer because I just don't know what's going on. It really flustered me a little bit. The Keon Coleman disaster. But yeah, I'm going to go with Kalen King at Penn State. Go with the advice. Just take a Penn State defensive back, and you should be good.
Is he a safety or a corner? I think he's a corner.
Either way, he's a cornerback. Yeah, he's a corner.
Okay,
I'm taking him. It says DB on the page.
That's the thing that's the thing that annoys me. It's like, okay, is this guy safety or a corner? I'm trying to be realistic here, but
but yeah, I'll take my corner too. That's good. Kalen King, he's going to be an All Big Ten corner. Not mad about it. Sonny Styles, Roman, Kalen King in man coverage, and I'm gonna hope that I could finish off my secondary really in my next 2 picks.
That's fair. So, Dante.
Well, just how Chris just was deciding to shore up his back end, I'm going to do the same. And where's he at? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go, since with chemistry and all, and they've been together, playing together for about 2 years, and just that to have chemistry on the back end is important. And since Chris messed up, I'm gonna go with Keaton Ellis from Penn State. That's their safety, and I'm shoring up the back end.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to keep track of everything. That's another name I don't just know off the top of my head. I'm just gonna need you
Kea.
Okay, hold
T-O-N.
on.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, I have a lot of things going on. I'm trying to update the board that everyone's seeing, and I'm trying to update my board so I know who's being taken. Okay, what is it?
Keaton, and then Ellis, Ellis.
You said Penn State, right?
Yep.
All right. So Penn State secondary is essentially kind of off the board. So it's
We still got a couple corners there.
yeah. Man, do I want to continue with the defense? How many corners are we drafting? We're drafting 3 corners. But we're also drafting 4 wide. I think it's 4 wide receivers, 3 corners.
Yeah, it's 4 cornerbacks on what I'm looking at.
Is it 4? Yeah. Oh, no. Sorry, it is 4. It is 4, and I don't have a single corner. This is tough. Where am I going to go with this? Okay, I'm gonna build this like I build Madden, and in Madden I put all of my stars on defense because it's so easy to get the superstar development trait as a wide on offense if you know how to play the game. But defense, you need the stars. So I'm going to get my stars on defense. We're gonna be like a 99 defense. So where am I gonna go with this? I think sorry, I'm talking to myself as I do this. There's so many good picks here. You could really just pick both the Iowa guys and be fine. I'm not going to do that. Kalen King's probably the best person on the board. So, okay, I know what I'm going to do. Because I have a lot of them. These 2 are probably 2 of the best. And they're also, one of them has 3 touchdowns. I just can't turn that away. So, in back-to-back picks, I'm going to go Will Johnson from Michigan. 27 tackles, 3 interceptions.
Damn it.
And then I'm going to go Cooper DeJean from Iowa. 75 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 3 touchdowns. Just don't show up. Like, I don't know why you decided to play offense against me. It's not right. It's not fair. It's not fair. Just don't show up. Don't play offense in my vicinity. We're shutting you down. So I'm gonna get my lockdown corners, and I'm just gonna project because this is not Madden that they both have. Cooper DeJean probably has a superstar X factor with the 5 touchdowns, and Will Johnson just has a regular superstar. So
he was their best offensive player last year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I actually think he has more touchdowns than the tight end did, Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
So
yes, he did.
That is kind of insane. That is the most backwards, like, modern football stat of all time. In all honesty.
Yeah. And I know that, like, I understand that it's hard to recreate that, the touchdowns and stuff, but most times you don't go from 5 interceptions to 0, even if you don't get the returns. Like, I'm fine with not having the returns.
Right. That's a really good pick, Jordan. Both of them actually really annoying. But I'm gonna go because no one's gonna really want to throw to Cooper, and Iowa's always going to be great on defense. So the same way you could do with the safeties at Penn State, you can do with Iowa. Like I said earlier, I'm going with TJ Hall out of Iowa.
You said DJ Hall?
TJ.
Yeah. Corner or safety?
Corner.
Okay.
And I needed one anyway. I need to get a linebacker too.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so confident in my linebackers. I might pick them last.
That's fair.
I got Tommy, so like, come on. Like, what else do I need?
You really don't need another linebacker.
Yeah, you really got the only name I can really think of off the top of my head.
It's like, does anyone else play linebacker in the country?
Who knows? Not as good as him.
Oh boy, what do I do here? Gotta put up something here. I can't make another. I could easily make another homer pick, But I just keep getting flashbacks to him falling down, man. I just get flashbacks. I love the guy, but you can't unsee some stuff. And I can't unsee that Georgia play. So I really got to think. Here, I would never put him in one-on-one coverage against one of the fastest receivers in the country, but so I might go back to offense here. You know what? I haven't picked a new Big Ten guy with USC or UCLA. I'm going to take Mario Williams. I'll get my slot guy.
That's a good pick.
I just think he's going to put up some big stats. He's in year 2 with I guess year 3 with those two guys. But I just think, you need one reliable receiver. That's not Marvin Harrison Jr., and you guys took the other ones I wanted. So we'll go there.
Listen, I'm not mad at you at all.
And then I could really just double down here. I'm going to take a tight end here. I'm going to take Michigan's tight end, Colston Loveland. It's going to be a big – I just feel like it's getting late, and he's a big name, and he's going to be productive.
Yeah. You have Colston Loveland and Kate Stover. I see what type of team you're building, and I have to say, I love it. Everyone else may not love it, but listen, I'm rooting for it. I'm not, because I need to win. But if I wasn't trying to beat you, if I wasn't trying to get the accolades from random people on Twitter telling me they like my team,
I'm just trying to get people that I know are going to be all Big Ten, because that's how Big Ten voters work.
Yeah. That's fair too.
They're on the preseason all Big Ten team anywhere. I'm just like, it'll probably be on the postseason one, because these beat writers only watch their team.
Basically.
So when I come up with the point system, just remember it's going to be skewed that way a little bit.
All right, where are you going, Dante?
Oh, no. We got to doing a little bit of research. Gotta do a little bit of research here, just a tad. I'm thinking defense.
Okay.
So I was thinking about going. But I think I need a running back. No, I'm gonna go linebacker. Cal Halliday. Halliday. Okay.
That man, Dante. That's a good pick. If I wasn't so confident in my linebackers, I'd be upset with you right now.
No, I needed one. I needed a linebacker. I haven't had one. I think you guys got one. Both have
I'm
one.
the only one with the linebacker.
Okay. I like linebacker play. I needed a really good one.
If you don't like linebacker play and you sit and listen to me talk about it all the time, I don't know. I'm either going to convert you or you're going to stop talking to me. One of the two.
So. Well, I've been a defensive guy my entire life. I played safety. I love defense. So eventually, I know what gets me points. I know what's going to give me points. Offense is going to give me points, but I need a defensive guy.
I understand. And so speaking of points, I'm thinking Chris, he changed my mind on something on where I was going to go. I'm cheating here. They are good players, but I'm going for the win. So I'm going for people that I know are going to be on the All Big Ten team. And I think that there's only one tight end left who is solidified in that. And then I'm going to take a linebacker that I don't think people know too much about, so I could wait on him, but I didn't think anyone was watching Michigan State, and Cal Halliday was gone. So I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take Miami Njungmeta. I may be saying that wrong, but he's a linebacker from Wisconsin. 95 tackles, 12.5 tackles for loss, 3.5 sacks, and a touchdown. He is like him and Tommy running together. Like, again, I'm putting all my
kind of mad.
Yeah, that's really good. That's a good. God damn you.
Yeah, honestly, it's like Dante was saying with the Penn State safeties, Wisconsin linebackers, they're going to put up stats.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other guy, and I can't say, Chris, like, if you wanted this guy, you should just blame yourself because he was not this high on my list. But once you started talking about the point system, I needed to get him because the other two tight ends are gone. So I'm going with Brevin Spanford, tight end from Minnesota. Last year, 497 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11.8 yards per catch. Like, he is also on all of the watch list, which means, I mean, no one watches tight end. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have anyone else. They're gonna have a first year quarterback, and who else should a first year quarterback? Oh my gosh, who else should a first year quarterback throw to besides big ass tight end? So
Yeah.
I can't say that's who I really wanted in this area, but you brought up the point system, and I'm like, this guy. I mean, there's only 3 guys, right, in the All Big Ten, and I think we have them. I mean, Chris has 2 of them: Cade
Chris
Stover,
has 2
Brevin
of them.
Spanford, and Colston Loveland. I had to get him. You took 2 of the guys, so that's where I'm at.
The only other place I could think, and I don't know off the top of my head, is Iowa. They always have some guy, some big white dude.
I know his name, and I thought
Yeah,
I have him
I'm
on
about
my
to say
list.
it.
I'm
about to say it.
I have him on my list.
I'm about to say
it. I'm not going to do it. So. All right, Dante, go ahead.
Yeah. Luke Lakey, I think it's how you say it.
Luke Lachey.
Okay.
Lachey.
Luke
we're both
Lachey. Or both off. But that would have been like a second or third guess.
He's the son of Ohio State's radio announcer.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, I needed a tight end, and you guys took all of them.
So
the only reason why I'm like he is good, but I'm so worried is because it's Iowa's offense.
Yeah, but that's all they have.
Cade's
a good quarterback. Yeah, he throws to the tight end. So I'm not mad at it, but I am worried.
Well, okay. So to make you feel a little bit better, he was their number 2 tight end, 398 yards, 4 touchdowns, 14.2 yards per catch. You put that as the number 1, even if he doesn't entirely double it. I mean, I think that's the last tight end that you could take and feel good about.
Yeah, and also like their offense was so bad last year. The fact he put up that many yards is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Not the run on tight end. I don't think anyone expected that. Okay. Chris, where are you going?
Yeah, honestly, I was so focused on seeing what you guys picked that I didn't really focus on my pick this time around. So this might not go as planned, but I wanted Will Johnson, didn't get him, so I held off on corners last round. I think I'm gonna bet on the Denzel Burke bounce back. I've already got Kalen King, so yeah, I could risk it. I think I could risk one.
Especially as your number 2,
Yeah, on a guy who was a freshman All Big Ten guy. There was like a sneaky part of me, like right when I was about to say it, that almost said Davison, but I'm like, no, not yet. We're not there yet. And then this next pick, I just honestly am not sure what position I want to go to. I don't have any linebackers yet, so I think that's where I got to go. And you know what? We've got all the big names out there. We've got some really big names on your guys' teams. I'm gonna go smaller.
Don't do it.
And I need to make sure he's still playing there because it's not necessarily like he's one of their best players, but I just need to make sure that he still wants to be at this place because you know how that works.
Right.
But I'm gonna go with Jayshawn Barham from Maryland.
Okay. How do you spell it?
Give me a second. Let me look it up again. Jaishawn Barham. He's on all the preseason stuff. Like he was really good against Ohio State last year. I pray to God he's still at Maryland because it's really hard for me to bet on someone wanting to stay at Maryland. But I did not see anything when I looked him up of him going
to Deshaun Jones.
Oh, I see a Deshaun Jones, but I don't see a Deshaun
H-A-M. I think
they have 2 Deshaun's on their team.
Yeah, he's a local kid, so I'm sure he's still there. But
Wow,
I just
What
really
position?
linebacker.
Oh, linebacker.
Oh,
I'm
that's why.
tripping.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought you said wide receiver.
Yeah, and he's
No.
definitely still there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I was looking at. They
Once
have
I
a
saw he
Jay
went to St. Francis, I'm like, yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, well, they have a Jay Sean wide receiver too. So,
And he put up some pretty good stats. He had multiple double-digit tackle games. He set a lot of career highs last year. 6.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks. He's a typical strong side linebacker type of guy. So I'm really excited to see what he does this year.
All right, I'm going to go defense. I need another defensive player, and I only have one OSU player, I believe. And so I'm going to go with Lathan.
yep,
Yep, Lathan Ransom. OSU.
that's a good pick. I think he's going to be one of the best
I think
safeties in the country. I think me and Chris are going to regret letting the Georgia play stop us from drafting him.
I didn't draft him so he could prove it to me that he deserved to be drafted. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's 3, right? You get 3 safeties.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'm done there. Cool.
You have all 3 of your. Who are your 3 safeties?
I have the 2 Penn State, and then now Lathan.
Oh, you have 2 Penn State corners, don't you?
No, he's
Oh,
got the safety.
no. You're
I
right.
got the safeties.
You're right. Sorry.
Yeah. I took Kalen King thinking he was a safety, but actually got the best corner in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, terrible for you. I'm sorry that's the best corner.
So sorry that happened again.
I just couldn't remember last year which one was the safety, Kalen King or Jair Brown. So I just guessed that Kalen King was the safety.
Yeah. All right. So we keep talking about safeties, and I'm going to take the best safety in the Big Ten that nobody's talking about. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take John Torchio from Wisconsin.
Oh, Torchio.
55 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 5 interception, and 2 touchdowns. Between Torchio and between Cooper DeJean, that's 5 defensive touchdowns last year. And obviously you can't predict that, but even if they cut it in half, that's 2 or 3 defensive touchdowns for me. And we're locked down. Again, why did you show up?
Torchio, that's awesome. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
And then we're getting so many wide receivers, and I have one. And so I have to take him because eventually my board's going to run out. I can't say it's the guy that I was going to take here, but eventually my board's going to run out. And I'm going to go with not all USC because I have 2 more spots, but I'm going to go with another USC slot receiver. They ran with 2. I think Chris took the first one. I'm going to go with Taj Washington, 875 yards, 8 touchdowns, 15.7 yards per carry last year. I'm going to put him in the slot, and I'm going to run with that. So I have essentially the all USC offense, 2 USC wide receivers, and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is trying to get him another Heisman, so why not?
Why not? Is he off the board?
Oh, you don't want to say it?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Oh, did I say 2 people? Oh, I said John Torchio. So it is John.
Yeah, John Torchio.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to finish out my receivers because now I finish out safeties and I'll finish out. I didn't put that name down, and that's my fault. Okay, sorry. This is bad podcasting. Look at me. Okay. Receiver, finish those out. I'm going to go to pair with my guy, Dante. No, I'm sorry. No, to pair with my guy, Dante, I'm going to go with Isaiah Williams out of Illinois.
That I thought about him. I did.
again, Chris made a great part about talking about points and all Big Ten possibility, and I think he has that possibility, especially since also so does everybody else. So had to go
Yeah.
there. Needed another receiver too. Just so I can round that out.
Yeah, we are to the struggle bus level a little bit on like remembering on who's been picked and who hasn't.
Yeah. And then, I mean, there's so many people
struggling.
It's hard just to look at it.
It's like I'm looking at it before every pick to make sure I'm not going to repeat. But I need another corner. I need another safety. I am going to go with Max Melton from Rutgers.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to be on anyone's board. Oh, my gosh.
I'm a Shiano sicko. I love the Scarlet Knights. I don't know. I mean, he's one of those crazy corners, like always wearing he's got the cropped pads. You know, if you're a corner and you're cropping your shirt, that means you're playing man coverage, and that's what he does. And then my other guy, you know, I've got Sonny Styles, I've got Kalen King, I've got Max Melton, I've got Denzel Burke. I feel like I'm really putting together a solid secondary. I'm going to go with a very reliable guy who can play in the slot, can play a more traditional safety role. Michigan's Rod Moore. I'm not sure I see his name on there.
Not there. Yeah, that's good.
That's just two great back-to-back picks, man.
I think I went into the depths of my mind on some of my favorite players to watch last year, and hate aside of the blue and yellow team, I really did appreciate Rod Moore's story, and I think he's going to be incredible this year. And then Max Melton, he's got the X-ray with the pit bulls inside of him, so need a little bit of that.
It's crazy. I was looking at my board and I'm like, oh, we're getting the backup territory. The only starting position I don't have, because I'm running a 4-2-5, is my slot corner. No, I have a slot corner and Will Johnson. I'll probably play him in the slot, but I need my other corner. It's the only starter, and I didn't think anyone was going to have Max Melton on the board. Ah, jeez. Okay. Dante.
We're just like, we both have pit bulls in our X-rays.
Yeah.
So I need DBs. I only have one, but I have 3 safeties, but I need DBs. So I'm going to go. Wait, let me make sure. No, nobody said him. Quinn Schlup.
Okay.
Iowa.
So
unless he's a safety too.
No, I have him at corner.
Okay, I thought so. So I was like, they have him at corner here. But...
Yeah, you remember when I said I have a guy from Iowa who I don't know who he is, but he plays at Iowa.
Yeah,
it's him. I don't know. I don't. He had 72 tackles last year, and I don't know who he is. He's just like one of them.
That happens at Iowa all the time.
Also, why did Iowa's 2 corners combine for over almost 150 tackles? Like, I almost thought they were safeties. It's like, no, their corners just attack the ball. It's crazy.
They are very involved in run fits.
So that was the guy I had on my board. I don't know who he is, but he plays at Iowa. So if it gets down there, I'm just gonna take him. Man, okay. So I have to get this guy because I need my other starter, and I can't sit here and think that nobody's gonna take him when I thought no one was gonna take Max Melton. So I'm going Quentin Newsome, cornerback from Nebraska. 44 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 10 pass defense. The 2 sacks, I'm putting him in my slot. He seems good at blitzing. I can't say I know exactly what position he plays because Nebraska, but based off the tackles for loss and the sack numbers, I'm going to imagine he played the slot for them because you're in a lot of the action. And I have a lot of guys that get their hands on balls. He had no interceptions, but 10 pass defense, that's major. If he's not going to catch it, he's going to knock it down. No one's going to catch the ball on us. So that's where I'm going. And we're a little off. So at round 15, we're going to go to our commercial break. We're going to come back. We're almost done with the players. We're going to knock out the players, and then we have the coaches left, which I imagine, unless there's someone that someone really wants, coaches are probably going to be for last.
Honestly, I was probably going to draft myself as head coach. So.
Gonna draft yourself. I'm not mad at that.
So I can say I got drafted.
All right, so we will be right back. All right, everyone, we are back. For the people on the podcast, that was a little bit longer of a break than normal because of the video portion of it. We had to make it a little bit longer, it's just how it works. So sorry for that. But we are back. It is my pick. And I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't think I have too many starting spots left. I have my 2 safeties, 2 linebackers. I have my defensive line, 3 corners. That's my entire defense. Quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, O-line, tight end. That's my offense. I guess technically I need 1 more wide receiver. Do I want to go there with this pick, though? I love how none of us care about the backup quarterback. It's like,
that's one of the last picks.
If we get one, we get one.
Like, that's going to be the last pick.
So honestly, just going to draft myself.
Honestly.
Look how good my team's looking. I might be able to do it.
Yeah. So
Lamar's out there somewhere.
I can lead a receiver. I can do that.
All right. So I'm gonna make this pick just because it is the only opening spot left. It is the only starter, and I don't want to go far down the board. This is a homer pick. I'm gonna regret it because I don't know how much he's gonna play. But if Chris can, well, I mean, I guess it's not fair because Sonny Styles is gonna play. But I'm going Carnell Tate.
Oh yeah,
Ohio State wide receiver. He's only been there for a couple of months, and everything that you heard about him was that he was an absolute stud. That he was. I mean, he made multiple great plays in the game, and even still with Ohio State wide receivers, sometimes it takes until the end of the season. But this is still a win for me, even if he's on the Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson plan, where they don't show up until week 8, 9, 10 bowl game. But also, if we're going for points, there is a Big Ten freshman team, and he's gonna be on it. So I feel good with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go Carnell Tate, and I have all of my starters now, and so now it's just about battle of the wills, battle of the people who really could prepare, because I don't know how many good players are left.
Yeah, no, I'm in that boat. I mean, there's still some big names at some of the I don't want to say less schools, but some of these projected to finish at the bottom. There are some gems down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but we are in the point of struggle.
Yeah, it's getting tough out here. I think I only have one running back. Yep. So I'm going to go with a homer as well, and I'm gonna go with Mayan Williams as my backup running back for Blake. Mayan could start anywhere, and be a first team anywhere else. So I'm going with Mayan.
That being your backup running back, that's a great duo.
Yeah.
That being round 16.
Right?
Really?
Right? I was waiting, and I was like, no one's gonna do it. All right.
I saw a bunch of things, and they had Mayan listed ahead of Trey as far as best running backs in the Big Ten. Mayan Williams in the 16th round, Dante. That's a good one. It's a really good.
I'm happy with that one.
I'd consider that a steal.
I think so too.
All right. I don't know where I'm going to go next. Part of me just wants to just close up my linebacker position. I really just I don't know if I want to do it this way, but I want all the schools represented here, and I don't think either of you guys are going to take a player from this school. But
I bet you I know who you're picking.
It's Bryce Gallagher.
Yep,
Northwestern.
He was on my list. He's a dog, man.
Yeah.
Despite my Northwestern hate.
If he's not making the tackles, no one is. So
No, for real.
I'm gonna take him first. So right now,
he was listed as the 17th best returning linebacker. Granted, take it for a grain of salt. We're doing this content, so anyone can do content. But 100, he's the last guy. Well, there's one more guy, but he's the last guy on my list with 100 tackles last year. So one of the. Oh no, there's another. Oh, okay, I'm gonna just stop talking.
just stop talking. Yeah, wait, who's that guy, Jordan? Who are you talking about?
What's his name? Who are you about to say?
Before someone gets some ideas.
Yeah.
So, Chris, who's your next pick?
Part of me wants to just because I don't think I'm going to find any other linebackers later that there's two guys that I'm very intrigued in, and neither of them I don't think were big stat guys last year for like linebackers, but I think they're both very good players. Do I want to be a homer, or do I want to be a little bit and just keep playing to how we're playing this? I think I'm going to take Steele though. Steele Chambers. Okay. You got Tommy. I'm going to keep it in the family here. I just watched this video with James Laurinaitis today. He gave tons of respect to Tommy. So you know what? He's on the Tommy train, so he's on my team. And now I'm done with linebackers. And coming into this, I was a position I was least sure about, and I think I've got a pretty killer linebacking group.
Yeah. Well, so this is probably going to surprise you, but he's not on my board. And that's why I said I was so confident about linebacker, because he was there initially, and then I did a sick amount of research on linebacker because it's my favorite position in the world, and I have a guy that no one's gonna pick, I think, and he may be better than some people have already picked. So I love Steele, though. I mean, I'm on record and will continue to be on record that Ohio State has the best linebacking duo in the country, except for my fake team. But it's a fake team. So they have the best linebacking duo in the country. Steele is far, far, far from a scrub. So that's a great pick.
I'm going to continue this linebacker picking because I need linebackers. So I'm going to go with Junior Colson.
That is one of the other guys on my list that has 100.
That was the other guy I was debating between, but I decided to be a homer. That was
I was so glad when you did that. I was like, okay, well, there we go. I knew there was another when Jordan said that there was a linebacker with 100 tackles. I was like, it has to be a Michigan guy. So I was like, I'm gonna go for him. Go ahead.
So here's the thing. That's not who I was talking about, but he was one of the two. No, I'm very confident that none of you know the last linebacker I'm going to pick. I'm going to take him just in case I'm wrong, but I'm very confident because he's a transfer in from a smaller program.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
but Junior Colson is one of the best linebackers in the country, so that's a great pick.
I'm shocked looking at my linebackers that I somehow went with a Will, Mike, and Sam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like I got the big because Barham's a Sam, Steele's a Will, and Bryce Gallagher's as Mike as it gets.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Tommy, it was going to be him.
I mean, he's probably the second best Mike in the country because I think Mayma and Jametta is a Will, and even if he's not, he can play Will. So,
yeah, it's Colson's a dog, though. I might regret that one.
Yeah. I don't have too many Michigan players on my team, and it's not on purpose, but that's one that I'm not going to regret it because, again, I did a disgusting amount of research on linebackers that nobody cares about. But he is one of the guys that I thought about kind of sneaking in there. So I am going to go two really weird positions. One, I'm going to take the last linebacker because I keep talking about it, and I don't want anyone to do any research and figure out who he is. So I have to take him here. The other guy is a freshman who has not played, but if he's even half as good as the hype that he has, he's going to be one of the best players in the country. So I'm going with, as the linebacker, I'm going with Nick Jackson. He is a transfer. I do not remember where he transferred from, but he transferred to Iowa. 104 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, and 5 sacks.
Wow.
And this guy's my third linebacker. So very happy. And I got 3 of my top 4 linebackers. In order, my top 4 linebackers were Tommy, Nick Jackson, Cal Halliday, and Emmanuel Njameta. And you got Cal, but I mean, I got my second rated linebacker in round 17, 18.
Yeah, this guy's crazy. He's had 100 tackles in 3 straight seasons for Virginia.
Yeah.
That's a steal. That's a transfer portal steal.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that one. And this guy, Chris will know who I'm talking about. Dante, I don't know so much if you will, only because I don't know how much you follow recruiting. But I'm taking Deuce Robinson, tight end for USC. He was the number 19 player in the country in this past recruiting class, the number 1 tight end. He can play tight end. He can play wide receiver. He's like 6'5". I mean, he's an instant contributor for USC. If he reaches his hype, he's Brock Bowers. Well, maybe not so much Brock Bowers because Brock is a little bit of a better blocker. Oh my god, I hate for lack of
he's like Kyle Pitts, honestly.
Yeah, that's the one. If he reaches his hype, he's Kyle Pitts. And so I don't know that anyone was going to have him. I don't know if anyone remembered that he would count because he hasn't touched the field at all. And we don't have too many. I don't think we have a single UCLA player, even though that they probably have some good guys. But I didn't want to test it. I don't know why his name doesn't have the second E, but I didn't name him, so I'll let that rock.
I'll put down what his mama put down.
Yeah, but that was my name. What is mama name? That's what it is. So that Nick Jackson and Deuce Robinson. That's what I'm going.
Okay, I'm going to round out my linebackers here, because there's I think I'm going to do big name. I've done a lot of big names so far, at least for my linebacker groups, according to the school. So here I'm going to do Abdul Carter from Penn State.
I really did think about getting him. Abdul Carter, so it's not about me, but the reason I didn't take him is I don't think he really plays linebacker, and I don't like that. But he is Micah Parsons. Like I was watching him play, he's Micah Parsons.
I like sacks, and if he could get an interception or two, like TJ, all right.
Yeah, you got an absolute stud. I thought about doing it for my third linebacker to get a guy that can play in multiple different positions and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he had 56 total tackles. That's not that many. But he had 10.5 tackles for a loss and 6.5 sacks.
That'll get me points right there.
As a freshman.
That'll give me points right there.
Dante, listen, you're doing great for like not having put in as much out.
I know, and it's bad because I should have, but I'm doing all this looking for apartments and stuff and trying to move that I couldn't get a chance to. I'm doing off of what I've seen.
And I mean, you're doing well, so like,
I'd be honest. I'm just like you guys have been snagging guys on my board, and I didn't fill out a deep enough board, so I keep scrambling around.
I need another DB.
That Abdul Carter pick. I'm glad you did that because you got Junior Colson, and then that one I was mad about, and I didn't even think about Abdul Carter because, like Jordan said, I didn't even know he was a linebacker. Honestly, he's all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, I watched his highlight tape, and most of he's essentially their jack. He's Micah Parsons. Almost all of his clips of his best plays are with him at the line of scrimmage, but he's standing up. So like technically he's a linebacker, but like, you know, he's Micah Parsons, which is crazy that they're gonna have back-to-back.
Yeah. That is absurd. Man, I really don't know what I'm gonna do with my next pick. I need receivers. I need some more corners. let's just let me look around a minute. Let me look around. I know Jordan knows I like this player a lot. His stats have been inconsistent. But I'm going to just kind of stick with, like, maybe they're one of the best players on their team, so they're going to have to be good. And even if their team's not, they will be. But I'm going to go with Chris Ottenham-Bell as my third receiver. He's just a big target. Young quarterback, you know, you're going to have a guy who's really – first new quarterback since Tanner Morgan – got there like 18 years ago. So, big targets, big friends. And then for my other pick, I just really don't know where I want to go right now. There's just a lot of names that just keep going in and out. And really, it's like kind of the point where I'm like, what do I really need right now? And it's safety. And it's cornerback.
There's still some good guys out there.
There are a lot of good guys out there, especially at the DB position, whether it's safety or cornerback.
Yeah. I love the whole like OSU quarterbacks aren't good or Big Ten quarterbacks aren't good. And then we go through this list and there are so many great corners and safeties in the Big Ten. And it's like, it's because they play great defenses. Like there's so many guys on here that have potential to be like, you know,
starting in the NFL
next year. Like it's
They can steal a spot from somebody. Like
I'm just making sure no one pick this next guy I want to finish off my cornerbacks, but no one's taking Tavion Nicholson, right?
No, I haven't heard that name.
He's at Illinois. He's got some hype around him.
That's good.
He's a scrappy corner. It's earned him the nickname Taz. So
I like that nickname.
Yeah.
So
do you know how to spell it?
Give me a second. THVEON.
Wait, TAV or TH?
TH Ta and then THV. TAHV.
Okay, there we go.
And then EON, then Nicholson. The other way. The CHOLN one. Illinois. His nickname's Taz. You know, I was kind of like debating here which teams haven't I really picked that many players from. And I don't think I had a Minnesota guy, and I don't think I had an Illinois guy up to this point. So yeah, I'm trying to be the Big Ten. I'm trying to be the Big Ten commercial. I'm trying to be all over the country with my team a little bit. But yeah, you know, I've already got 3 good corners. I'm pretty sure I only have 3 corners. If I have 5 now, that sucks. But I think with Denzel, with King, with that group, I'm happy with it. And then Max Melton, obviously, I could get a guy named Taz in there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's your 4.
That should be.
Okay, Dante, where are we going?
Defense, DB. I'm going to go Tyler Nubin.
Oh. That was another guy in my brain there, but I just wasn't ready for.
As soon as you said, I don't have a Minnesota guy, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was coming. I thought I was going to get a steal like I did with linebacker. I did not. I'm still going to get a steal, but that one.
I've been getting steals lately now.
That was a good one. He was one of I'm just reading like the all Big Ten teams.
Is he a safety?
Yeah.
I can't do that. I already.
You have your safeties?
Yeah, I have 3 safeties. I thought he was a DB.
No.
Okay. All right, that's fine. That's okay. You're welcome, Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. I think you need more than just a safety right now. So.
Because I can't make sure. All right, that's fine. I'm going to.
Are you sure you don't need a bunch of players on offense? You've got a lot of defense.
Who, me? No, I have mostly offense. I have 4 receivers.
Oh,
as a tight end.
okay.
I have 2 running backs. Like
Oh yeah,
I
you're
only
right.
need,
You're
I only
right.
need a backup quarterback and tight end, and then I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I wanted to finish on my defense because I just finished up. Yeah, this will finish out my defense. So I'm gonna go with Cam Allen. Then
Ooh.
since I couldn't do.
Wait, he's a safety too.
Are you serious? It says
Yeah.
DB on
Yeah.
Purdue.
Nah, he's a safety.
Wait, what was his name again? No, I'm just kidding.
Cam Allen.
Golly, y'all. Come
Yeah.
on. Nah, it said DB.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. Do you want me to give you a guy?
Yes, please, because now I'm
Okay.
getting lost.
So there's 2 good ones.
Okay.
Do you want Michigan or Minnesota?
Let me do Michigan.
Okay. Mike Sarenstill.
Okay, I'll do him.
58,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
58
Yeah,
tackles,
yeah,
6.5
yeah.
tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and an
yeah,
interception.
he's good.
Yeah, he's good. I forgot.
Yeah, I don't need any more corners, so I'll help you out there. Especially since you're helping me out, because now
Yeah, you can have. You got a safety.
I'm up next, and I have my top 2 guys to choose from, and I just don't know which one I want. So
Yeah, I also don't need a corner, so I was not listening to that second part of the conversation.
yeah, so man, I don't know which safety I'm gonna take. It's gonna be one of the 2 guys that you mentioned. So if it matters, hey, like you were on the right track. Like, good job, but
yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, wait. It said cornerback on Purdue stuff. So I'm like, what are we doing?
Does it? I'm pretty sure. I'm very positive.
It doesn't say. Well, like it says DB.
I really need them to like be specific. Like,
yes,
just put corner, safety. Like, come on now. But I'm
because some of this Penn State has safety cornerback, and Ohio State also has safety cornerback.
Because that's what makes the most sense.
And then some schools just have DB.
Yeah, like Michigan has DB.
Oh man, this is hard.
I needed a cornerback, and I need one more too.
This is hard. So I'm gonna go Cam Allen over Tyler Newman because he has more pass defenses, even though he has 1 less interception, which means he plays the ball a little bit more, and he has a touchdown. And I think almost everyone in my defensive backfield has a return touchdown. So let's just keep that going.
And
that'll be my last safety. Man, Dante, I did not think you were gonna pull out Cam Allen. Like Tyler Newman, like, okay. I did not. I thought I was gonna get Cam Allen as my last pick. Maybe I was overconfident. I thought like I was gonna be able, because it's Purdue. Like nobody looks at Purdue's defense. I thought I was gonna be able to sneak him in there.
Yeah, no, I was looking at him a few times. I kept going back, and I was like, he'll be there.
Yeah.
Just for me to already have my safeties, and those are all also good picks too. Like,
yeah.
See, I know my defense.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna round. Oh man, I'm gonna round out my defense because I think this is the last good corner left. And Dante took. Well, I mean, there's another good one, but I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take Justin Wally from Minnesota. No, I can't do that. Chris might need him. I already helped you out with one.
Chris doesn't need cornerbacks. He said that he needs other.
Yeah, I got 4 corners.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you don't have someone, I'll give it to you because
I don't.
Nobody else needs it.
Everything keeps saying DB, so now I'm worried.
Yeah, and
once you get one wrong, you're like, oh god, what am I gonna do here for the rest of the draft?
Right.
I'm gonna go Justin Wally from Minnesota. 39 tackles, 3 interceptions, 2 pass defense. Like, I mean, and he's my 4th corner. Like, I think I'm good. You know.
Yeah.
He's a stud. He's gonna be a stud, and he's 3rd team All Big Ten projected, and I got him in the 20th round. Like, I'm happy with that. So, Dante, are you actually gonna go corner next pick?
Yeah. No, I seriously. Yeah, I'm finishing out my defense. That should finish.
Okay.
That should be everybody.
So, the last guy on my board at least is Davison Igbinosun, Ohio State. He's a transfer from Ole Miss, and
they had a good defense too.
Yeah, he should We don't know for sure if he's going to start, but Ohio State plays at least 3 corners, and if he doesn't start, he's going to be 2B.
He's gonna get
So,
playing time.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep, that's my 4.
He's
3
an
safeties,
SEC,
3 linebackers. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
SEC all freshman last year, so he's a stud young guy. So, all right, Chris.
All right, I'm going to go with the other Igbinosin. I don't know if they're brothers. Don't ask me. I don't look into these players' personal histories, but Desmond Igbinosin will be my last safety from Rutgers. Not a lot of hype. I found him just looking through the catalog, and then I looked him up. 9 starts last year, 55 tackles, 4 pass breakups, and a forced fumble. Had at least 5 tackles in 5 games. So he's going to put up stats. The way Greg Schiano's defense is built, the safety is incredibly involved, and Ohio State fans can remember how many tackles the safeties were making because they play the linebackers 2 feet from the line.
Yeah.
Very true.
I will say I'm fairly positive they have to be related because Davison's from New Jersey.
Yeah, I think
I
they
don't know
both
if they're
went to Union.
brothers, but cousins, family, and that name in
Something.
college football, they have to be related somehow. And Davison, Desmond, I'm gonna imagine they're brothers. The 2 Ds.
I'd assume
Jersey.
we could look it up real quick. They both went to Union High School. If they're not brothers, like
They're related.
Are they
definitely
twins? Maybe? How old is he?
no, they actually they might be.
Look at us not knowing anything.
Yeah,
I mean, I've never heard of this kid, but like, all right, so
And they play the same position pretty much.
Yeah, one's a corner, one's a safety.
One's a safety. Yeah. So
Okay,
one
so
might be just a little bigger.
Desmond's older. He's a 2021 class.
gotcha.
So he's a junior. So it's probably his older brother. Because Davison is 2022 class,
That
right?
makes sense.
Can you imagine having your coach and you just get blessed with 2 Division I defensive backs?
Yeah, no.
The high school level. That's horrifying.
Younger brother, I'm imagining by 2 years. Yeah, so
yeah, safety. Let me check something real quick because I'm looking at the rounds. We got my math's checking out. So I don't know. I got to get another receiver here. I'm not going to do that right now though because I need some time to research. I'm going to take Kyle. Give me Kyle McCord. I'll get my backup quarterback first.
Man. Okay. That's I almost forgot quarterback existed. So
that was my next pick. I'm
going to take my second quarterback. So,
and he's going to be a starter. So that's a great pick. That's a great pick. Oh, man. That's a
great
pick. All right. Man.
Okay. Since he did that, I am going to go with my second quarterback's going to be my last pick. So I'm going to finish out, get my second tight end, get Colston Loveland from Michigan.
He's already been taken.
You're serious? Okay, see, look at me. That's
Chris
terrible. You're right.
But it was early. We've been doing this for a while.
Oh, that's fair. Then all right, cool. Corey. Dishes? I wouldn't even Dishes? I have no clue.
Is it Corey or EY?
Corey.
Okay. How do you spell his last name?
Dyches.
And who does he play for again?
Maryland.
Yeah, because
I know they're going to
that's the guy that almost went to OSU.
Yeah, and that's the Maryland throws the ball a lot too.
Ooh, hold on, Dante. He might be on Alabama. What? Chris, is that the guy that transferred to Alabama that Ohio State wanted?
I could look real quick.
That's gonna suck.
Corey Dyches.
Or did he stay? Or did he go back to Alabama? Because wasn't there a tight end from Maryland?
No, this is a different guy. Their other guy did transfer.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Sorry to put the scare in Dante. I thought it
was like, ooh, it's gonna get tough here.
Nah, you got him.
Yeah. Okay. Did Tyler Newbin get picked?
Yes,
you took him.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No,
yeah, he didn't.
Okay. I was going to pick him,
and
but
then
I already have safeties. Yeah.
Okay. So my last 2 picks, I need a 4th wide receiver and I need a backup quarterback. So I'm gonna do the thing because I know he's gonna start, even though I don't like him. I'm gonna take Drew Aller because again, I know he's gonna start, and I don't want my backup quarterback to be like Devin Brown and not be able to get any points off of it. And just because of the state of the Big Ten with all the transfers and stuff, Drew Aller's probably gonna win the Rookie of the Year, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year or whatever, if he's even remotely decent, because there's not that many freshman starters. So I'm gonna cheat there. I'm gonna get my backup quarterback, and I feel like I can do this because I have Caleb Williams. So wide receiver 4 for me. There's literally only two. I only have 3 wide receivers left on my personal board. 2 of them, I don't know how much he's going to play, even though one should play a lot. And so I'm stuck between the guy that I'm not the biggest fan of, but he's a returning starter, and the guy who should be a starter. Let me see. I'm building a real team. I have my slot. I have 2 outside guys. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to make the whole homer pick and hope that Ohio State actually plays him before he turns into Jamison Williams. I'm going to take Jaden Ballard as my deep threat. And wait, is this not my pick? Oh, it is.
No, you're right.
No.
You just,
is it? Yeah, you should have back to back, right?
yeah,
yeah.
You
I just put Drew Aller in the wrong spot. I hope the people watching this are not judging me because this is a lot to keep up.
Oh, you know they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan keeps messing up. Who let him run this? Sorry, guys. I apologize. So, I mean, he's been a guy at Ohio State for a while. He should be their deep threat. Ohio State's stacked at wide receiver, especially if my other wide receiver, Carnell Tate, comes on. But it's so hard because Brian Hartline doesn't want to, he won't do what everyone else in the country does, which is if you're good at one thing and you're the best at it on the roster, he'll let you do that one thing. Brian Hartline has a reputation to uphold, and so he makes all of his wide receivers be good at everything, and that's what slowed down Jaden Ballard. But he's the older guy, and if he doesn't play now, he's going to transfer. So I'm just going to hope that he actually plays, and he's my wide receiver 4. So if he doesn't, it's fine.
Man. Oh boy, this is
respected.
Yeah.
So this should be both of your last 2 player picks, unless
I think it should be my last player pick.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, last 2 because there's 2 more.
Oh, me and you, yeah. So
Chris, yeah.
me and Chris.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got it.
I'm regretting.
I don't know what to take, honestly.
I'm
regretting my quarterback pick already. Dang.
My backup quarterback is going to be. I'm going to go Hudson Card for my backup quarterback. Purdue, like I said, Purdue is going. I think he's going to give me points because Purdue likes to throw the ball a lot. They're probably going to run the ball a little more this year, but they're still probably going to throw it 180 times. So I'm gonna go with Hudson Card to help me out there.
Yeah, I like that. I like Hudson Card. I thought he got kind of jobbed at Texas. I think Casey Thompson got jobbed at Texas too.
They both did. I mean, I almost did. So I went with Drew Aller, but I'm like I said, I'm already regretting the Drew Aller pick for Hudson and another guy. Actually, 2 other guys. So whatever.
But at this point, it's Penn State's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Even if he doesn't get a lot of yards, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, you should be fine.
Yeah.
All right. Chris. I need a receiver. Crazy. My favorite position to look at and break down. It's the one I need one left. And I'm kind of trying to take a different route with this last one because I feel like I've got Marv, so I've got an All-American already. I've got Mario Williams. I think I got an all-conference guy. I can't even remember who my third receiver was, but he's probably pretty good too. But I think
Chris
this last – oh, yeah, he's pretty good too. I was right. I'm going to take A.J. Henning from Michigan.
Okay. All right. Michigan wide receivers, that's –
it's different. I'm not mad at it.
The reason why he's a big return guy, punt returns, kick returns. and there is a place on all conference teams for those selections. And he's not a bad receiver. He just plays in Michigan's offense.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do it for a lot of people.
I mean, if I feel like if you're really really good, it might still pan out, and he'll end up getting a lot of yards because he's good. And I think also JJ, not a breakout year, but I think they'll let him throw the ball more.
I don't believe that. I see why you believe it, because they should, but it's Michigan. I don't believe
they
it.
should. I think
they have Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards again.
Yes,
he's not
which is true, but I think because of that, teams are definitely going to, like early on, teams are going to definitely cloud that box. And like they'll run the ball, they're going to make them beat, but they're going to make JJ throw it, and I think JJ will be fine. I think he will be able to throw it.
Yeah.
Especially if he has receivers and tight ends that can get over and down the field.
I'm honestly strictly taking this because he's probably the best returner in the Big Ten. And
that's fair.
If he's a good receiver as a bonus, hey, I think that's the best 22. He's going to add value to my team in some way.
Absolutely. All right, so Chris, before your next pick, before you go to coaches, do you want to run down anyone, if there's any players on your board that we didn't take before we go to coaches, or do you want to say that for the end?
Like, I could just go to coaches. I really, by like round 20, my board was gone, so I was pretty much scraping by.
I have a bunch of players on my board, but I told you I did a sickos amount of work. All right, head coach, who you got?
Whew, this is tough. Do I take a guy who's maximized like one of the worst programs, or taking a group of 5 team to the playoff, or I just go with the guy who coaches the team I root for? You know, I'm going to take my defense coordinator first. I'll let you guys go the rest. I'm taking Jim Knowles.
Oh. Okay.
I'm really worried about that choice because I was thinking head coach first, but I'm like, if I get the best coordinators here, I should have honestly took my 2 coordinators back to back and made a player pick last at this point.
Yeah, that would have been
that's not bad. That would.
I take the AJ Henning pick back. My turn's not over yet.
No, it's over because give me Brian Hartline.
Yeah. All right. That's fine, because I'm about to make Chris mad.
You know exactly why I wanted to take the pick back.
It's fine. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you.
Got my offensive coordinator.
Ohio State, front and back-to-back first coaches off the board. Maybe that's a good thing for us. So in my back-to-back picks, I was going to take Jim Knowles. I already mentioned I'm running a 4-2-5. The next best coordinator that I can think of in the Big Ten that runs a 4-down defense, Phil Parker. And I have a bunch of like guys that like to take away the ball and are good at it. So I'm going to go Phil Parker. And then for my offensive coordinator, before he gets a head coaching job, I'm going to take Sharon Moore. I got to. I thought about someone else, but I'm going to take Sharon Moore. And I'm just going to have the toughest team ever. Phil Parker, Sharon Moore. Like, I'm going to have the toughest team ever. I mean, I feel like I'm winning. I love how I'm ending this out.
Are you?
So yeah.
I'm not mad at my AJ Henning pick, but revisionist history here, I would have been much happier if it was Sharon Moore or Jim Knowles.
That would have been the best pairing in my opinion.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go defensive coordinator. And man, it's a tough one because I want to do something a little different here. Either him or where. Actually, no. I'm gonna be smart here. I know. Football coaching staff. Sorry, I don't know coaches.
Yeah,
I don't know coaches.
I mean, you're not gonna take the younger Ferrets. I mean.
I'm taking Phil Parker. Oh, you're right. Okay. Oh, cool. I wasn't paying attention, and that's on me. All right, I'm gonna go with Aaron Henry.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay, it's fine. Phil Parker has been doing it a lot longer. Aaron Henry's a great one. Man.
Needed that
Is that
defensive coordinator.
It's the guy that's replacing Illinois
guy. Yeah.
And I think he's going to be great for them. He was their secondaries coach, and their best unit was secondary. Like,
Yep.
All right, now I'm a little torn because, there's a lot of ways I could go here. I think there's some underrated offense coordinators in the Big Ten, and I'm torn between two guys right now. The first being Barry Lunny Jr.
Okay.
I like him, and the other being Phil Longo. It's really just me deciding what I want my offense to be right now. I'm trying to look at my roster to see who would be the best, but I'm also trying to think of like postseason accolades here. I'm gonna go with Lunny Jr.
Okay.
You know what? I like Illinois. I think they're building something there. I think Brett Bielema is doing a strangely good job. And then I'm gonna let because the point system we're gonna build. I'm gonna take Luke Fickell.
That's nice. That's nice.
I just know Jim Harbaugh is not going to go back-to-back Coach of the Year. I know they'll never, in their right minds, give it to an Ohio State coach. Ryan Day could go undefeated next year with probably his most challenging roster yet, and he still wouldn't get it. So I'm going to go with the newcomer. They're going to give him a warm welcome. They're going to give him awards. He could go 6-6, and it'll still be a happy dance there. So yeah, that's my team.
Damn.
Man, I wanted Luke Fickell because I was going to have the toughest team of all time. Luke Fickell, Phil Parker, Sharon Moore.
Yeah, that's great.
That's good.
That had been the toughest team of all time.
You know those cheesy like camp shirts you'd get in high school with like the acronyms and it'd be greatness.
Yeah.
Like, and then it spells out like 4 words with it. That's the shirt you'd need. It'd be grit.
Yeah. Speaking of, Kent State's new thing is Kent Grit. And I like the grit, but I don't like they're putting it together. Like Flash Fast of the last coach sounded so
that was cool.
And now we're at Kent Grit. And it's just like, it just sounds like an old person trying to be cool. Like I wish they would just use grit, but not as a combination. I wish it would just be like a separate thing. Like you're saying, one of our philosophies is grit, but Kent Grit, bad. Real bad.
Because it almost sounds like Kent Grit. I don't
Kent Grit.
Yeah. Especially Kent Reed, Kent Wright, Kent State, Kent Grit. Yeah. We're not a tough team. That's great.
It doesn't help. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like Jordan knew who I was going to pick here as my head coach. I feel like he had an inkling, but I'm gonna throw him off. I'm gonna throw everybody off. I'm going with Lincoln Riley.
Wow.
Like 90% of these rounds, I took USC and UCLA out of my mind, but now I'm thinking, damn, that was an easy one.
Wow.
The media loves this guy.
Man, wow. That's a good one. Were you thinking about Jim Harbaugh?
I was. And my second Lincoln Riley was my third pick. My second pick was Brett.
Okay.
But I already have his defensive coordinator. So I'm gonna be fine there.
This is tough, especially because I have to stick with this because I hate all the coaches in the Big Ten. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I have a real deal defensive coordinator, and he's older than the head coach, so he can tell him to shut up when he's doing things wrong. I'm gonna take Ryan Day because Lincoln Riley's a fraud, and I want to see Ryan Day with Caleb Williams. Ryan Day with Caleb Williams.
Lincoln Riley's a fraud is crazy.
Ryan Day with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Jordan's speaking to the choir right here.
I know Lincoln Riley gonna make JJ a Heisman candidate.
That's probably true, actually.
yeah, I think so. So I mean, I have Ryan Day with Caleb Williams. Like,
And now
yeah.
I have Lincoln with an actual defensive coordinator. Let's
Oh
go.
man, that's a good. That's
Hey,
yeah.
You'll
But
throw it away. Don't you worry.
he'll find a way.
Yeah, I'm
He'll
sure.
find a way. But yeah, overall, looking at this team, I really didn't miss anybody. I actually had to add people to my board. So if you guys have anybody you missed, I'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I'll show mine really quick, and I'm gonna put it on the screen so people can see it
I'm gonna
because
just
I
while
want to show
Jordan's
you
doing
all.
Dude, that looks like one of those like early 2000s
That's
quarterback
crazy.
wristbands.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just be honest. I didn't have a board.
I know you did.
That was all head,
Yeah.
all memory.
Yeah. So when I said I was a sicko, I meant it. I ranked 10 people per position.
You remember how back in the day they used to do the fantasy footballs on like whiteboards?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Obviously the green is the guys that I got. Obviously, so Tanner Mordecai, I thought about as my number 2. Same with Dante Moore. I'm just gonna run through some good people.
Mordecai would have been good.
Yeah, Roman Hemby and Devin Maccabee both almost had 1,000 yards. Both of them, their teams didn't realize they were good to the second half of the season. So I think they would have been good picks.
I wanted Roman Hemby instead of AJ Henning at the end, but I just couldn't. I had to fill out my roster.
Yep, and then Marshawn Lloyd, who doesn't have the greatest stats, but he's playing for USC. Wide receivers, whatever. I mean, Shamir DK, but like, there's some decent. There's like I had some like. This is one of the positions where I just had a bunch of recruits because tight end was in. So number 10 tight end, number 3 tight end in 2023, and then Joe Royer, but that doesn't matter. I think safety is the position where we have the best players and where we all might regret it a little bit. Xavier Nwankpa is going to start for Iowa. Tyler Nubin didn't get picked. Marquez Buford from Nebraska and Jahad Carter. Like the conference is so deep at safety. Again, this is just my board, but we did pick all the corners. I think we got some of the best corners.
They market corners well.
Yeah, this guy. Everyone like I'm not going to because all of my linebackers have over 100 tackles, essentially. But Mason Cobb, I feel like he's a transfer. He's a transfer from Oklahoma State, so he's trained by Jim Knowles. 98 tackles, 13 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 1 interception.
USC in the Pac-12, you're tackling a lot of little guys, so he could get over 100 tackles.
Yeah, and Jacoby Windman, none of us got him, but like he played linebacker and D end, so he was a good guy. And then, I mean, we only picked one each, so there's just a lot of good stuff on the D-line left. Penn State's D-line didn't get picked. They have Chop Robinson. Iowa's defensive line didn't get picked. Their best player's gone, but he wasn't the starter. So they're literally entire starting defensive line is back. OSU's offensive line is, we'll see about that. Wisconsin's offensive line. So I mean, that's just what was left on my board. But I also don't want people to think I'm joking when I say I'm a sicko. I literally did all of this. I have stats for everyone.
Honestly, we did pretty good.
Yeah, I was going crazy. So
he didn't do a single thing at work.
Yeah. So we are gonna end it. This is the first show that's ever gone over 2 hours, and there was 3 of us, so I'm actually happy with that because both of our individual shows get over close to an hour 45 almost every time. It's probably my fault. We drafted on both shows, but
25 players or 22 players and 25 total picks. So that's pretty good.
I think we did really good. So for everyone listening, if you made it this far, thank you for making it this far. Thank you for listening. Yeah. We're gonna find some way to do a graphic to get this out here.
Yeah.
So we want you to vote on it. Whose team would you take? Where did we mess up? Who would you have taken earlier? Any players that we didn't take? Just whatever kind of opinions you all have on that. We definitely welcome and want to hear all of that. And please let us know if you like the video format. Hopefully, I know I made a couple weird faces, but hopefully I didn't do
Oh, we
anything
probably all
crazy.
did.
Sometimes I forgot we
Hopefully,
were videotaping. So
Yeah.
yeah, which is probably the best thing. But I'm also not gonna go back and watch it. So I'm just gonna pretend that
Yeah, I'm gonna just let everybody else let me know.
yeah, I wasn't doing any of those looks like they do in The Office when I said something.
Yeah.
I know.
All right,
And the
well,
sad thing is, because like I said at the last moment, I moved it to my like actual monitor, so I'm like leaning into this,
yeah.
trying to look, see who got picked and whatever. So I know it's gonna look real bad. I'm sorry, guys. Like I'm
No,
sorry
but
to people that are watching this.
yeah, let us know if you like the video format. We'll maybe try to do it again. Thank you, Chris, for hopping on doing an extra podcast this week.
Yeah, it was
As
incredibly
always,
fun.
thanks, Dante. We do this all the time, and yeah, I hope if nothing else, I hope you all have some new names and some people to kind of write down and look forward to this season as we start to in June and July start to transition to actual unseasoned content. And as always, go Jordan's team because we're
Oh
not the Buckeyes. We're not the Buckeyes, but we didn't come up with the name. So
Hey, we're
go
the Chris
go
Woody
me.
Buckeyes, so yeah, that is our name. So sorry about the Michigan guys I drafted.
Penn State guys ain't gonna like it either.
Yeah, they'll get over it. It's the all-star
No,
team.
did we not pick a single UCLA player?
No.
No, I don't think so.